So this is the story of making. It's really the story of my internship and how I connected makerspace with art. My name's Eileen Fitzgerald. I'm a grad student at Loyola University, Maryland, and I'm also an art teacher at Glenmar Elementary School, K through 5. I wanted to think about a way to incorporate technology into the art room. And I wanted to promote the 21st century learning skills, the 4 C's: creativity, collaboration, communication, and critical thinking. I wanted to engage students and teachers and parents to promote making. So I needed to work this plan. I assessed the school for needs. I sent out a survey before the last day of school, and I didn't get a lot of response. So I sent it out again, and I sent it out again. And I learned 2 things. First of all, not many people were reading my emails. And second, no one seemed to know we had a 3D printer or how to use it. And that's what they conveyed to me. I also need to learn about makerspace. So I talked to some ed tech teachers over the summer, and I decided for makerspace for the internship. I went to a BCPS 2-day workshop at Digital Harbor in Baltimore. And I worked with a lot of different teachers, librarians, classroom teachers, special ed teachers. I learned about circuits, motors, electricity. There was a lot of collaboration to try to come up with ideas how to use it. And we were also given a large box of supplies for attending the workshop to bring back and start a space. This is Digital Harbor, and this is what I wanted for our school. I wanted these laser cutters. I wanted these 3D printers. I just thought this would be amazing for us. I learned different ways to incorporate the making into a variety of curriculum, and I had the summer to plan. This is a video, and I'm not going to show you all the presentations and videos I have links to because I am on the free site, and this ends in 15 minutes for my paid or for my free time. So I applied for a grant, and the grant is also in here. I worked with my principal. I wrote the grant, and then my principal helped me with all the information I needed for the grant. I felt bad for her. I probably gave her about 24 hours to get all the information because the grant had to be in by a date in the summertime at the end of July, and that's when my class was. So she was great about pushing for it, of course. Sadly, we didn't get it. We didn't need it, but it would have been cool to have all that technology. I also wanted to motivate peer art teachers. So the art office asked me if I could present the information about the 3D printer to art elementary school teachers for our August professional day. I used all that feedback to help me develop a plan for Glenmar. This is the presentation. I met with the staff teacher. I needed assistance, so I joined the tech committee, and we decided to write a bunch of letters to ask local businesses for supplies. I got a lot of replies back from mine. We got a lot of cool recycled stuff, interesting things. It got us started along with the supplies from the workshop with Digital Harbor. I wanted to motivate Glenmar teachers. So working with the staff teacher, we presented the first Glenmar University. We allowed time for hands-on, critical thinking, communication, collaboration, lots of creativity. We encouraged iteration, asked for feedback for the next presentation. My administration came to watch, and this made getting the proposal very easy to accept when I submitted it for permission. This is what we did. I just gave them very affordable basic supplies. Teachers were challenged to build the tallest house of cards, no directions. They also learned about some money systems, which I'll talk about later. But this was like a one where they built from the ceiling on down, this one from the table on up. So there was a good challenge, lots of fun. I used this video of Kane's Arcade to motivate because Kane is very similar to the students we have at Glenmar. And I really thought this would motivate teachers to try to get these skills into their classroom. I wanted to motivate the students. So I worked with students in art class as artists and makers. I encouraged iteration, and I came up with this money system for shopping at the Art Depot. So we became makers. We made these creative chairs, and students were allowed to use hand tools. We had a store going on, and we took the chairs and made them on the 3D printer. These kindergarten students here made hats for Derby Day along with their ponies for a little race outside at recess time. This is a pre-drawing on fresh paint to get us ready for three-dimensional insects. I created an environment for makerspace opportunities. My principal got me carts and staplers and scissors and crayons and anything she saw that was going to get thrown away, she quickly grabbed and put in the makerspace room for me. I made this funky sign to get kids rolling, and I set up an after-school club. It was called the Art of Making. I had a girl club and a boy club, and we alternated every week. The students got to use hand tools. The fifth graders added LEDs and little electric parts, little motors to make things move on their forts. We didn't have enough money or supplies to do it with the whole fifth grade. There's way too many of them, so we did it with this art club. And we learned a lot about circuits and copper tape and things to move. My intern from Towson University came, and she loved the idea of makerspace. So we came up with a store in the art room, which we then got a cart and turned into a Maker Mart cart. This is the money I was talking about. It's broken up into tenths or it's broken up into quarters. I really felt like that added an authentic piece for students to shop, think about their supplies wisely, make change, and just make it more authentic. I presented more. So I presented at different Glenmar universities, although this was a paid professional development where teachers were paid to come and learn. And I had learned that from a summer class also. So this is a chair. We use this tutorial for people that were struggling, and I sent this out to help them. But I've also used it with students, and I used it also the night that I'm going to show you about in a little while, where I just loop it and people can figure out how to use the work planes, the 3D tools, and how to rotate things and make things work. This was a Tinkercad presentation that I did, the paid workshop. I learned from the art teacher workshop that don't give teachers their access to their teacher ID and how to set that up until after you teach them how to make the, I had them make the chair so that they could learn exactly how the students learn, then set up a teacher account, then learn how to set up student accounts, then get to play with Tinkercad to come up with their own ideas and learn about the printer and get their device hooked up to the printer. It was successful. This is another one that I did with the stat teacher, and this was representing the county's lending library. So they have cubelets that we can borrow, check out. They have even things for pre-K and kindergarten, little mice that to learn different coding skills. We did Ozobots, and of course, the Makey Make. This is the teacher learning with quarters and electrical tape and electrical connectors, where he created a keyboard out of this cardboard guitar to play piano. The visual art office again saw my tweets and asked me to show what I was doing in the art studio at my school at the elementary liaison meeting. And this is the presentation for that. To present the student work, I wasn't sure if it was going to make it home. We took a lot of pictures and we worked on marketing the chairs, and we used PowerPoint to create a background and promote their business. They gave their business a name, they gave their chair a name, they gave it a price tag, and then they made a beautiful photo. This is a cloud chair sitting in clouds. These are the dream forts where we used a lot of maker supplies, and we did this with the Towson intern. We used iteration and we used a lot of hot glue. In the afternoon, my Art of Making club got to use a lot of hand tools, LED lights, and the little motors, and they put them on their forts. That was an after school, a girls club and a boys club, and they alternate. I wanted to motivate the community, so I joined STEAM Night, and I hosted Making in the Art Studio. And I think I added the A&T. It was a pirate theme where students were to make pirate ships and bridges and things in the cafeteria. I never got to see it because the art room was so busy. We dressed up as pirates, so did the kids. We made clay parrots, and parents got to sit around with their kids and make art. And at the same time, they could go up to the table, learn about Tinkercad, learn about the 3D printer, watch it print, get to touch the 3D parrots that we had made in our art club. And here's Addison making her 3D bird on the computer using Tinkercad. I needed to motivate myself, though. To be honest, I wasn't really feeling confident, so I attended a conference in Boston. I took a day to learn Makerspace, connecting art and engineering at MIT. And this was so great for me. Ed Marati motivated me with the idea that engineers and artists think alike. I never thought that way before. I thought we were totally opposite, but apparently we do think a lot alike. And I don't know if my husband would agree because he's an engineer, but I think we do think a lot alike. This is a little laser printed box we made with, the laser stars cut out. We put LED lights in there. We connected it to copper tape and to make little lights. This was a unbelievable musical system made out of copper fasteners that you can look at, but I don't want to run out of time. This is when my head felt like, boom, I've got it. I've made a connection, and I felt like I can do this in the art room. I can do more, and I can really innovate students. At the conference at Common Ground, I was selected to represent Loyola. And these fourth grade students were so excited to show me how they use the copper tape, LEDs, different circuits to make their community of houses that they had used on a laser cutter and then put together light up and things move and things happen. And they were fourth grade students, and I really want that for my students. This video that I really want you to see, but we don't have enough time for, you'll have to do it on the separate one. This was amazing. As it scrolls over, it lights up. It's kind of an Asian sumi kind of painting, and different flowers light up different colors at different times. That's really what I wanted to do. So my brain is bursting with new ways to inspire others. I'm exposed to so much technology, and it really is exploding in my brain. And it's not easy being the queen. I realize that I don't just have to reach for being like a tech liaison or a tech teacher. I can be amazing and innovative in my teaching, and I can really inspire others to do the same thing in their room. I learned from the quote from Thomas Edison, like to fail forward. So I've used this attitude of the number of trials he went through to invent the light bulb, and I've really been pushing this on students. I have not failed. I've just found 10,000 ways that won't work. I need to keep stepping out of my safe space and try new innovations. This has been a whirlwind of trials, some successful, some not so successful. But hey, I still have a job and I am full time, and I am really liking watching kids get excited to learn. And I like all the new technology.